welcome everybody to the WrestleDude YouTube channel. As here today, I have some more WWE 2K20 news to talk about, even though I'm talking about it a hell of a lot later than everybody else, but you know, who cares? I mean, this is coming from the same guy that's working on a gameplay video for the channel of Pac-Man. You know, I'm kind of late to a lot of stuff. But here today, we're talking about WWE 2K Showcase Mode for WWE 2K20. They released a trailer of it today, and in this trailer of mostly live action stuff from the same setting of the previous cover star reveal trailer, it was still set in that mansion. It was like Stone Cold and Hulk Hogan and a bunch of other legends talking about who the man was in their time, and then it flashes up some screenshots and some quick gameplay of the showcase mode. So we're gonna break down the gameplay parts of it and talk about the match listings. They listed all the matches that are going to be a part of the 2K showcase mode. A lot of interesting stuff, a lot of exciting stuff. I'll talk about it when I get to those points, but let me know before this gets started, what match are you most excited for in this showcase mode? I know exactly which one I'm excited for. There's actually two, I think. Maybe even three. I don't know. I might like all of them. Who knows? But let's get into it here. The gameplay kicked off. We had some screenshots here, and the first screenshot that we saw, and we saw two screenshots from this match, was Charlotte Flair versus Asuka from WrestleMania in New Orleans when Charlotte Flair defeated Asuka and made her tap out. This looks very cool. Looks very nice. The attires look like they match up. We got another screenshot a little while later showing Charlotte put her in the figure 8, and you know, Charlotte's model looked great. It looked like she had the right hairstyle. This was an interesting match to have on the list. Still pretty cool. I am hoping that during this matchup we still have John Cena in the crowd, because you remember from WrestleMania this year he was just sitting in the crowd, and then after this matchup he ran up the rampway and met The Undertaker in the ring later that night to get squashed by him. But you know, this is a very cool match to have on the list. I enjoy it. This should be fun. So the next match that we have here that we have a screenshot of is of Bayley delivering a Bayley to belly onto Sasha Banks at the Nxt Takeover Brooklyn arena. This is one of the matches that I'm very excited about, considering the stuff that could come out of it. One, we get the OG Takeover Brooklyn arena, so for those of you that are excited about arenas, then that's a big plus. Sasha and Bayley have their accurate attires. I think I saw another screenshot of Bayley with the bandage-up hand, so that's going to be accurate. Sasha Banks' hair looks the right color. Bayley's got like her little headband on. This looks very cool. A little nitpicky, but the referee isn't the same from that matchup. But one of the things I'm excited about for this matchup is that, number one, it means that we're going to get the OG NXT Women's Championship in the game. I don't know if it was taken out in 2K19. I didn't really use it that much. But, you know, if you're one of those people that wanted that title in the game, congrats to you. Also, and you'll know this if you watched my video of top 10 like new OMG moments I wanted to see for this year's game, it may be time that we get a move of that top rope Frankensteiner or inverted Frankensteiner that Bayley delivers towards the end of this matchup. You know, the one where she hits the reverse Frankensteiner and Sasha lands on her head, and then Bayley delivers the Bayley to belly and wins. I wanted that to be a move in the game for so long, and it's really gonna bum me out if we get this match and that move is part of a cutscene. That's really gonna suck, because it's such an awesome move. I would hate to be relegated to just a cutscene in this game. And seeing as though that this shows Bayley delivering the Bayley to belly, I am hopeful that that's going to be a move in the game that we just have to hit, like an OMG moment that we have to hit in the corner and then hit the Bayley to belly. Otherwise, I'm going to be kind of disappointed that that move isn't in the game again this year. But still happy to have this matchup here on this list. A lot of great stuff. Very cool. Let's move on to the next screenshot. Now, this next screenshot I want to talk about is kind of weird. Not weird as in like the screenshot, it's weird as in the match that it's depicting, and I'll talk about it a little bit more later on. But they show Sasha Banks delivering her neck breaker, the Bankrupt, to Nia Jax at the Fastlane Arena. And also, if you see down in the crowd, once again, we're looking at t-shirts here. I see a John Cena t-shirt, and I see an Undertaker t-shirt. Now, I already confirmed that John Cena would be in the game this year via a t-shirt from one of my previous videos, but it's nice to see that the Undertaker also is going to be confirmed for the game via that t-shirt. I also see, it's just the Fastlane Arena. You know, the attires look accurate. I went back and I looked up like the accurate attires that they were wearing for this show. They look pretty good. It's just kind of a weird match to have on here. I'll talk about it a little bit more, but you know, other than that, screenshot looks good, attires look good, lighting looks good. Undertaker confirmed for the game, although I'm sure that was a given to begin with, but you know, pretty good screenshot. I enjoyed it. Now, these last couple screenshots I want to talk about here come from the same match, but one of them reveals something that's going to be pretty cool. This first one shows Becky Lynch at WrestleMania, I want to say WrestleMania 34? I could be wrong. I'm just going to say WrestleMania from Texas. The bad WrestleMania. The bad WrestleMania main event with Triple H and Roman Reigns. That one. Where this was basically the main event for a lot of people. It was Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks versus Charlotte for the new WWE Women's Championship and the retirement of the Divas Championship as revealed by Lita earlier in the show. And it shows Becky Lynch delivering the Manhandle Slam, I believe. This was an awesome triple threat match. I remember watching it. This was also the debut of Charlotte's moonsault to the outside, I believe. I guess in WWE, I should say. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff here. I don't really see any t-shirts in the crowd. Very cool. Nice to show that they're showing different attires. Looks like Becky Lynch is going to have her steampunk attire as well. Charlotte also looks like she's going to be having multiple attires. I also see that same referee again. I don't know if Little Nate was the referee for this match. I don't know. But speaking of Little Nate, the next screenshot is very interesting because it shows down in the corner, and hopefully the camera doesn't cut this off, another shot of Becky Lynch delivering the Manhandle Slam, but it also shows old Ric Flair as a manager who was the manager in this match, causing who was it? Sasha Banks not to get back in the ring when Charlotte won the championship. So it's nice to see Ric Flair is going to be in the game, at least as a manager. Hopefully that cool little glitch that we're able to use him as a playable character is still active. I hate when we find these like good glitches that like help out the game, and then 2K's like, oh, there's a glitch, might as well patch it up. Like, I can get some of them, like how some people use the glitch to like make male versus female matches. Like, I can kind of get that, even with that, like, how are you gonna get mad about that? Like, it doesn't really do that much harm. It's not like a little kid's gonna friggin' figure that out at any time soon. If anything, the adults are gonna figure it out and then try and keep it away from the kids so that way they don't do it. But, you know, it's still cool to see Ric Flair, old Ric Flair, as a manager. And we'll talk about some other managers here in just a second. But, you know, it's cool to see Becky Lynch's steampunk attire is going to be in there. I feel like we're going to get a couple different attires of hers, which is cool. Cool to see this WrestleMania arena going to be in the game. Ric Flair as the manager is going to be in the game. All in all, some really good screenshots, except for the one with Sasha and Nia Jax. Still kind of confused about that one, but I'll talk about it here in a second. Now, this last bit of news that I want to talk about is I have the full list of all the matches that are going to take place in this 2K Showcase mode, and I want to talk about them each a little bit and kind of just give my thoughts on if I think these should actually be in the Showcase mode. Now, the first thing that I notice here is, I mean, I guess it makes sense considering they said that the entire showcase is going to be about the four horsewomen of WWE, Sasha, Bayley, Becky, and Charlotte. But I would have still liked it if there was at least, like, some other women's matches from, like, back in the day. At least give us Lita and Trish. Although, I guess we already had that in, what was it, WWE 13, I think it was? I don't know, I could be wrong. but you know, it's fine. You know, we can still play those matches. It's still very fun. But let's get on to the actual matches. My chair is like squeaking really bad. I'm gonna have to invest in a new chair. But let's get into the first matchup. This says NXT Takeover. So that would be the second Takeover event from NXT, because the first one was NXT Arrival. That was the first live show on the WWE Network. But this is Charlotte Flair with Ric Flair as her manager versus Natalya with Bret Hart as her manager, which means that we may be getting an updated Bret Hart model. So we'll have the older Bret Hart model from when he looked younger, and then we'll have a more recent Bret Hart model where he looked kind of older, kind of gray-haired, but as a manager, meaning we might have to do that glitch again like we did with old Ric Flair to get him as a playable character in his older state. But, you know, cool match to start it off. I still don't get why they chose this one and not Paige. Well, I guess Paige versus Emma can't really happen. Wasn't there like another freaking title match they could have done to start this off? I don't know. Obviously, you couldn't do Paige versus Emma because Emma's not with WWE anymore. Can't really do anything with AJ Lee because AJ Lee's not with the company anymore. I mean, at least they didn't use the Bella Twins as the start. I mean, they used them later on, spoilers, but it's nice to see that they at least gave it to some people that were very, very good at the beginning of this whole women's revolution. Next one is still an NXT matchup. It's NXT Rival, Sasha Banks versus Charlotte Flair versus Bayley versus Becky Lynch in the Fatal 4-Way matchup. This has the makings of being a very cool matchup. I'm very excited for it. I remember watching this matchup. I thought it was really good. A lot of cool attires in here. I remember there was a moment where Becky and Sasha like launched Bayley into an LED board. That was cool. You know, there was a lot of fun stuff in this. It's going to be interesting to see like how many attires each of these women get, because there are a lot of different attires here. But then the next one is Bayley versus Sasha Banks from NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Like I said, very excited for that one. Hopefully we get that reverse Rana off the top rope. Next one is after all the women, except for Bayley, move up to the main roster, we get Charlotte Flair with Paige and Becky Lynch, so PCB, Team PCB, or Submission Sorority, don't look it up, versus Nikki Bella with Brie Bella and Alicia Fox at Night of Champions. So this is the night where Charlotte becomes the Divas Champion. Cool. I mean, I guess with Paige as a manager, that means I can confirm, that Paige is going to be a playable character. I would hate for her just to be relegated to just a manager like she is with the Kabuki Warriors, but I mean, if she's going to be retired in real life, then we might as well be able to like play with her in the ring, in the game. Like, I mean, we can do that with Edge, we can do it with all the other Hall of Famers, so it would make sense to let us do it with all of them. Okay, so this answers my question. So the next matchup is from WrestleMania 32. That was the one with Roman versus Triple H for the main event. Okay, I stand corrected. WrestleMania 34, my god. Okay, so Charlotte Flair versus Ric Flair, or Charlotte Flair with Ric Flair versus Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks. Like I said, very cool. I don't know if they're going to have for Sasha Banks' entrance Snoop Dogg do the entrance. Who knows? They might just have her do a regular entrance. But if the NXT TakeOver Brooklyn match confirms anything, it may confirm that we get a special entrance with her and her, like, big SUV that she enters in. So that would be cool. We have a very random, seemingly very random match. It says Raw, Sasha Banks versus Charlotte with Dana Brooke. I don't know if there was anything special about that, but, you know, cool. It may mean that we get another Dana Brooke model. Hopefully it doesn't look like the one from her debut in the games, because that was Nightmare Fuel. Next up, this is another one of my excited matches. Backlash. Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss versus Carmella versus Naomi versus Natalya versus Nikki Bella. This is for the inaugural SmackDown Women's Championship, which I'm very excited for this matchup because it has the prospects of having a lot of multiple attires that I'm very excited for. Number one, Alexa Bliss, because you remember from that Backlash show, she did her Harley Quinn cosplay which means that we may finally get that Alexa Bliss with like the pigtail style hairstyle, which is one of my favorite hairstyles that she's had, and it sucks that we've never seen it in the game. So it's cool that we may have that as an alternate attire to use. It's very, very cool. Also, it may mean we get an alternate Carmella entrance and like some cool Naomi stuff, and then we'll have Nikki Bella. That's gonna be cool. Becky Lynch in her inaugural SmackDown Women's Championship attire. That's cool. I'm happy that they're highlighting that moment, because that was very, very cool to see her as the first ever SmackDown Women's Champion. Next up, we have Hell in a Cell, Charlotte Flair versus Sasha Banks, an obvious one to have in there. I don't know if during the cutscene when they have Sasha on the stretcher, I don't know if they'll add in the detail of someone fucking yanking the cord out from underneath Sasha Banks' hair while she's supposed to have a broken neck, like an idiot. Next up, we have Elimination Chamber, Becky Lynch versus Mickie James. Another kind of random one, but I guess it does sort of have that feeling of like the past meeting the present in this bout. So, you know, cool to have that one on. I'm excited for it. What do you guys think? Comment below. Next up, we have Bayley versus Charlotte Flair on Monday Night Raw. Again, another kind of weird match, but I mean, it is horsewomen versus horsewomen, so it would make sense to have that on here. This is the other one that I wanted to talk about. Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax from Fastlane. That just kind of seems like a very random one to add in there. I don't know why. I can't really remember if anything important happened. I just remember the match was kind of boring. I remember Nia Jax kind of worked over Sasha Banks for the majority of it, and then Sasha Banks, I think, got like a roll-up win, but, you know, whatever. They wanted to add it in. Who cares? WrestleMania 35, or WrestleMania 33, Bayley versus Charlotte versus Naya versus Sasha Banks in the Fatal 4-Way matchup. So close to having a WrestleMania Fatal 4-Way with all the 4 horsewomen. So close. We were only missing Becky, but she was in the SmackDown Women's title match. So, and she also lost that, but she had a very cool attire. This is a cool one. You know, it had 3/4 of the 4 horsewomen. A lot of cool moves that were in this. Once again, another moment to probably see Charlotte's moonsault to the outside, so that'll be cool to see. WrestleMania 34, like I said earlier, Charlotte versus Asuka. That's going to be very cool. This is going to be very exciting for some people. Evolution. It's going to be Evolution. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair in the second ever Last Woman Standing match. Yes, I say second ever because it is not the first ever. That was a weird pause. This is cool. It confirms another attire for Becky Lynch and Charlotte. It confirms another arena. That's going to be very fun. Evolution was a very fun pay-per-view. Interesting that they didn't add Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella on here from Evolution, but I guess if they are sticking with the 4 horsewomen, it would make sense. Interesting also that they didn't add anything about the women's tag team titles in here, considering those were won by 2 of the 4 horsewomen of WWE. But, you know, I mean, they have 15 matches. Can't really make space for one more. Plus, you can always just play the Elimination Chamber matchup yourself. But, I mean, if you are that excited about that matchup, you would probably be bummed that it's not on here. And then finally, we have WrestleMania 35, Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey for the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships. That'll be the last matchup. Makes sense. The women are main eventing WrestleMania. Very much makes sense. I'd probably be bummed because it doesn't seem like they're going to have all their specific entrances, meaning we will not get Charlotte Flair entering the arena from a helicopter, which kind of sucks, but, you know, there are limitations to video games, as you know, and I don't think we're going to have bad reputation being played live to the ring for Ronda Rousey during this, but, you know, still going to be a pretty fun match. It'll be interesting to see if they keep in the animation of when Ronda Rousey gets pinned at the end of that match, spoiler, if they keep the animation to her having her shoulders on the mat, or if they actually animate her bringing her shoulders up off the mat, because that's going to be kind of interesting to see when Ronda Rousey returns, if that's going to be part of her storyline to get back the Raw Women's Championship. But, you know, it seems like a fun match to have as a part of the list. So there you have it, you guys. All the matches announced for WWE 2K20's Showcase Mode. Some cool screenshots, some cool matches, some of them kind of seemingly going to be damper matches when you play through it, like the Raw random matchup between Bayley and Charlotte, or Fastlane Sasha versus Naya. But, you know, still looks like a very fun showcase mode. I'm excited for it. Will it be boring? Yes, I do see some boring matches in there. Overall, do I think it will be boring? No, I still think there's a lot of great stuff in here to where it's going to be very, very awesome. I'm excited for it. Which matchup are you excited for most? Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Click on your screen now to see more.